What does the panel think of Trump pulling $400 million in federal funding from Columbia University for failing to protect Jewish students from harassment? Well, two people love it.
I'm for it. Listen, the devil
it
be in
went
the
too far.
details. Because listen, free speech, fine. If you want to be a queer for Palestine, it's an idiotic philosophy, but you have a right to be that.
Right.
You do not have a right to harass, intimidate Jewish students on campus, to keep them from going to their classes that they pay for, to keep them from going to the dining hall. It is ridiculous, and I will tell you, those campus protests, those got Trump a lot of votes. That was one of the times that I was like, I hate this man, but this is insane that it's happening, and we need a change in leadership.
Now, let's talk about delusion. This man really thinks that he's going to give the American people, and some people believe this lie, that he's going to give us a $2,000 check. The math ain't mathing.
2,000, I thought it was 5.
Maybe it's 5,000. You know, they can't get their numbers right.
Let me help you. It's 0. How about that? It's 0. And I know people gonna feel away. Listen, all I do is give y'all facts. So you come back to me when you don't get that check and say, Jasmine, you were right. Just like y'all want to get out there and say all kinds of, other stuff.
He's hearing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we wasn't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't, we showed up. And if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts. We got Madam Williams.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up, because I'm ready to get up.
Bill Maher just took Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett to task in one of the harshest critiques we've seen in a while. And he didn't pull any punches. Maher accused Crockett of turning serious political discourse into little more than a social media performance. In his words, it's less about policy, more about chasing clout. It all unfolded during a debate centered around Donald Trump's latest address to Congress. But instead of engaging with the substance of the speech, Maher argued that Crockett, along with several other Democrats, treated it like a TikTok audition. Viral moments? Plenty. Serious governance? Not so much. But Maher's frustration wasn't just about one lawmaker. His point was broader. Is the Democratic Party losing focus? Are they here to fix the country or just farm retweets? Critics argue that Crockett embodies the worst stereotypes the Democrats claim they're trying to shed. Her supporters, on the other hand, say she's the bold, unapologetic voice Washington desperately needs. Maher, though, isn't just throwing shade for laughs. He's pointing to a deeper concern. Is the party sacrificing credibility for online relevance? And here's the kicker. If this trend continues, the future of American politics might start to look less like a functioning government and more like a chaotic YouTube comment section. Later in the segment, Maher played a clip of Crockett responding to a question about Trump. Her message? Grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe. It was a moment meant to go viral, and it did. But as Maher notes, moments like this raise real questions about what kind of political leadership the left is putting forward. So, buckle up. Because if this is the new normal, we're not just watching politics evolve. We're watching it morph into performance art.
Oh, there's the cane dude. And then there's, okay, here's our pussy hat uniform. And these, looks like you're at a auction signs. I mean, it was, John Fetterman called it a sad cavalcade of self-owns and unhinged petulance. I love him. I said he should run last week. The Democrats seem so lost. And here's Jasmine Crockett, who is, I thought, a big leader in the Democratic Party. Her quote is, "This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up because I'm ready to get on with it." On with what would be my first question. And also, this is the way this is like how a podcaster talks or some shit.
Bill Maher just said out loud what a ton of people have been thinking, but were way too scared to admit. The Democratic Party has turned into a full-blown circus, and Jasmine Crockett is leading the parade. Maher's not some hardcore conservative. He's a classic liberal, but even he can see the writing on the wall. Professionalism, gone. Substance, out the window.
What's it?
Cringy TikTok style antics that make Congress look more like an episode of The Real Housewives than the serious body it's supposed to be.
And Crockett. She's exhibit A, front and center.
Instead of carrying herself like a leader, Crockett's out here acting like some YouTube drama queen chasing viral moments. Loud, brash, throwing shade left and right. Sure, that might score you points on Twitter, but it's a terrible look for someone who's supposed to represent real people, real problems.
Maher nails it when he says, "This isn't leadership."
This is clout chasing. Imagine Obama pulling this kind of stunt. Imagine any serious politician acting like this. You can't, because they had dignity. They understood that leadership is about respect, not retweets. But here's the bigger issue Maher is hammering home. This isn't just a Crockett problem. It's a Democratic Party problem. Instead of focusing on ideas, policy, and real solutions, they're chasing the dopamine hit of a viral clip. And trust me, that's not gonna win elections. It's just gonna make them look unserious, divided, and out of touch. Maher's warning is clear. If the left keeps trading real leadership for TikTok gimmicks, they're not just losing elections, they're losing credibility. And the American people, they're watching.
You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need.
Listen, he up there, he's spewing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't, you know.
But when she called me and said, "I think it's time for me to retire, and you're the one that I believe should take my seat," I really was kind of caught off guard. I didn't anticipate that. If anyone knows anything about the Congresswoman, they know.
We showed up, and if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts.
You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat. And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services and things like that. We got Madam Williams, who just happens to have the honorary seat. It's not even honorary because she's holding it down, y'all. But the legend himself, John Lewis, that is the seat in which she currently serves. So she honored his legacy. This is the message that she wanted to send today.
Y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something.
It's a huge responsibility. You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services.
They send them to Texas, they send them to Florida, every deplorable state that we can think about. They usually coming out of y'all's think tank.
There was someone that talked to me and said, in fact, a former ambassador and the Clinton administration.
Please calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk noise and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
He said, "Jasmine, what you have to realize is that if you are really going to make change, it's not going to be in the Texas House. He said, you did a great job playing defense, but you have a chance to play offense.
Let's talk about the state of Congress, or what's left of it. At a recent committee hearing, tensions flared when one member tossed out a bizarre jab about someone's bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body. That wasn't policy. That wasn't debate. That was pure spectacle. And it perfectly captures where things are headed. In the middle of all this, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. As one critic put it, if you want real change, Crockett isn't leading, she's performing. And it's not subtle. This is full-blown TikTok-style politics. Not about ideas, not about legislation. It's about going viral. Slang, sound bites, and catchphrases meant to trend, not govern. It's performative, exaggerated, and painfully obvious. And it's not helping anyone. In fact, it's making the Democratic Party look unserious, like a party more interested in creating viral moments than crafting real solutions. Remember when Democrats elevated people like Barack Obama? Even if you disagreed with his politics, at least the man showed up with ideas, composure, and a sense of purpose. He didn't need to act like a YouTuber chasing clout to get noticed. Now, in 2025, we've got elected officials sounding more like live streamers trying to farm likes than representatives of the people. This is what the Democratic Party has become. Less about progress, more about performance. And here's the thing. Even their own voters are getting tired of it, especially black voters, especially working-class voters. They're seeing through the noise. They don't want another viral clapback for Twitter. They want results. They want solutions. Jasmine Crockett isn't the cause of the problem. She's the symptom. The party is scrambling, trying to stay relevant by swapping out serious policy for punchlines. But if they think a few sound bites are going to win over voters in 2025, spoiler alert, it's going to backfire badly. So here's the question. Is Congress becoming just another reality show? Or is this what politics looks like in the age of social media?